Let's go again. This is like my fifth take because I don't know how to address this topic. Racism and discrimination. First of all, it is not an issue. People make it an issue. For me, it was not an issue. I did not know racism and discrimination was a thing until somebody showed me an example or explained it to me. And the way it happened was the way it started for me. My dad, I was at work and with me and my dad, we were customers. It was my day off, but we went to my work. And one of my managers, he was African American. And then I told my dad, "Hey, look, there's one of my bosses." And my dad, he was all like, "He's black." He said it questionably, and I don't know how I felt about that because I was raised that everyone was equal and everyone should be treated equal. We should be given equal rights. And for my dad to say that kind of disturbed me. He wasn't a racist person, but he's just been hanging out with negative people that he feeds off of who have really big influence on him. And I was all like, "Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, he is black," but I didn't notice that. Of course, I noticed that he was when I first met him, but that wasn't like the only thing that was pounding in my head about him because you don't judge color, you judge character. And discrimination between nations is starting to become more of an issue now than it was back in 2016 because it's more political. Back in 2016, it was more social with the whole Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, and it affects me because I'm a first generation American. My mom, she was adopted by her older sister who was able to live in America. And that's how my mom started her life here. My dad, he's always lived in America, in California, but my family's been in California since it was called Mexico, California. And so for to see on TV that families are being separated from being smuggled into America kind of gives a wrong perspective of why they're smuggling in the first place. In the beginning, America was land of the free, home of the brave. We were able to accept any nation who came across us because we were trying to nationalize. Now we've gone to that point where we are reaching not our max capacity, but to a point where we don't need any more people to help nationalize. But people still don't see that. And it affects me because we are not coming to them with open arms as we perceive them to be. And so with nations, especially ones from Iraq and Iran, across the world, where we are so far apart and we're getting farther and farther away from them because of our current president, which is putting a lot of influence on others because I have not seen so much hatred in our society ever since he got elected. Of course, with Obama being president, when he was in office, it was real moving, it was real touching because that really showed the United States that this is who we are. We don't care what the color of skin you are. And then after that, Trump came along and that turned the tables. That really said, scratch that. Of course, we care about your color. And we are going to make laws about who you are based on your color. When Trump first got elected, I got scared because I have a lot of friends who are undocumented citizens because they smuggled into America. And I just thought that, like, the more you know, I thought I knew everything about America, but of course now I don't. Like, you start to learn more and more. Like, the more I knew, that's how small my opinion about this topic is. Because Louisiana, the South states, and all those are really more on the past than they are with us and the rest of the nation. If you're more on the East Coast and the West Coast, we're both part of the United States, but we're, let alone, two different cultures there. But are we accepting? Are we able to look past that? Look past color? Because I didn't know it was an issue until someone told me. Because everyone's pure at heart and you're learned and you're taught things in traditional sense. You're racist because your parents were racist and they taught you to be racist. Of course, People are having more of an open mindset and not listening to their parents because they know even though what their parents say might be right back then, doesn't mean it's right now. Okay? History is always changing, it's always rewriting itself, and the right answer could eventually be the wrong answer. Or back to the right answer. Now, how do you guys feel about this topic? I know for me, it's not an issue. It was never a topic for me. So you know where to leave your opinion down. And like whenever I talk about somebody, about my friend, I mention that he's black, people say that's racist. And I say that is not racist because I am acknowledging who he is as a person, who that person is, one of their characteristics. Saying it's racist is racist because you're bringing it up as an issue. Just because I mentioned someone's black and you mention that's an issue, that is an issue. Not pointing it out. See you guys next time.